morning. My name's Bill Peterson. And this is our new 1976 Scout 2 you're looking at. Are you in the market for a sports utility vehicle?
Oh, sort of. I'm just looking around right now, seeing what's available and what's it going to cost.
Well, before we talk price, why don't I show you our new 1976 Scouts? For example, over here is our new Scout Terra pickup. Like all of our Scouts this year, it's available with an economical 4-cylinder engine. And with bench seats, there's plenty of room inside for 3 adults. Plus an 11 cubic feet storage space behind the front seat, which is 6 inches deeper than the storage space normally found on larger sized pickups. In addition, it has a 2,400 pound capacity, 6-foot long, double wall constructed bed behind the cab. That's almost double the load capacity of most foreign pickups. The Terra is available with either 2- or 4-wheel drive, plus a wide range of options. This model, by the way, is equipped with 4-wheel drive.
Oh, it's very nice looking, but I don't think I'm really interested in a pickup.
It is a really nice pickup. A lot of folks like the fact that it's more compact than a standard-sized pickup, and yet larger and more comfortable than many of the foreign imports like the Datsun.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those Datsuns. As a matter of fact, my neighbor owns a Datsun pickup, but I guess I'm more interested in something that my wife and 2 kids can use for camping trips.
Well, then perhaps you'd be interested in the Scout Traveler you see over there. A Traveler is like a conventional station wagon, except for the fact that you can equip it with 4-wheel drive. So it's really 2 vehicles in one. It's an in-city station wagon that your wife can drive during the week without feeling like she's driving a half-ton truck. And on the weekends, it'll take you anywhere you want to go. By the way, it has a hatchback trunk opening.
Hatchback, huh?
That's right.
You know, a friend of mine owns a Vega wagon hatchback. It's amazing how much he can get into that wagon when he folds down the back seat.
Well, you can get the Traveler equipped with a fold-down rear seat, too. It might be interesting to note that this Traveler can carry 5 people plus 1,000 pounds of cargo, while the Vega wagon only has a capacity of 1,000 pounds, and that's including people.
Well, how about the Scout 2? How's that compare?
Well, the Scout 2 has a 100-inch wheelbase compared to a 118-inch wheelbase on the Terra and Traveler. It seats 5, and naturally it has a smaller cargo space when compared with the Traveler. But a lot of people like it because it's really fun to drive.
Well, I like the looks of the Scout 2, but I don't know. You see, there's myself, my wife, and 2 kids.
Well, there's plenty of room for the entire family in the Scout 2.
But it looks smaller than a Blazer.
Have you already looked at a Blazer?
Well, yes, last night, as a matter of fact.
Well, believe it or not, this Scout 2 is in the same class as the Blazer. Tell me, did you get a chance to sit inside the Blazer?
Yes, I did.
How did you feel sitting inside the Blazer?
Well, there's plenty of room. Why?
Well, to tell you the truth, I've driven both the Blazer and this Scout 2, and the difference is unbelievable. The Scout 2 feels more compact, gives you the feeling that you're more in control. But prove it to yourself. Don't take my word for it. Why don't you just slide behind the steering wheel for a second? The first thing you'll notice is that it's a lot easier to get into and out of the Scout 2. You don't feel like you're climbing into a pickup cab.
It is easier to get into. How come?
The main reason is that the Blazer is basically a reconverted pickup truck, and so you step up into it like you do on a pickup truck. But IH has designed all 3 Scouts from the ground up as sports utility vehicles. Another feature I'd like to point out is our instrumentation. Direct reading gauges for the temperature, oil pressure, alternator, and fuel. But instead of grouping them all together on the left side of the panel like on the Blazer, we've spaced them around so they're easier to spot and read when driving. Some people have found that it's difficult to find a gauge when driving a Blazer because all of them are grouped so close together. So our instrumentation is a big advantage, especially when you can only spare a quick glance from the road to see how much fuel you have, for example. And if your wife wants to drive the Scout 2 around town during the week, all of our Scouts are available with such options as automatic transmission, power steering, a tilt steering wheel, AM/FM radio, air conditioning, and by the way, tinted glass is standard on all of our Scouts. Plus, you have a choice of 2 optional interior packages, custom, like this interior, or deluxe, and other options such as bucket seats and a large center console. And see that knob on the dash?
Mm-hmm.
Pull it out, and you've got four-wheel drive. Push it in, and you've got two-wheel drive.
That's all there's to it?
That's right. It's an option on all of our Scouts. But if you want a four-wheel drive vehicle, it makes it a lot easier to go back and forth between two- and four-wheel drive. And with the Lock-O-Matic hub option, you can automatically disengage the front axle completely for less wear and tear.
But why wouldn't I just leave it in four-wheel drive all the time and get better traction on the road?
Well, there are two reasons. First, it would increase fuel consumption. And second, it could lead to more wear and tear on the four-wheel drive components, the transfer case, the front axle. Four-wheel drive is to get you through rough terrain like mud, steep hills, marshland. But on the highway, you really don't need it. So, push in on the knob, and with Lock-O-Matic hubs, the front wheels are allowed to freewheel, the way they normally do on a two-wheel drive vehicle. We call this feature selective four-wheel drive. Sounds easy, doesn't it?
It sure does.
By the way, a Blazer has full-time four-wheel drive. Highway driving a Blazer will increase stress and strain on the front axle components. Say, did you get a chance to test drive a Blazer?
No, I just walked in and out. They're kind of busy at the time.
That's too bad, because later on I'd like to have you test drive our Scout 2 that's outside. The Scout 2 gives you a more comfortable ride when compared with the Blazer. Another Scout 2 advantage is better visibility. That's because the hood is shorter on all our Scouts. When you're going up a hill, it's important to see where you're going, don't you agree?
Yeah, but you know, I never really thought of that before.
Now, see that other knob on the dash for the hood?
Yeah?
Pull it out, and I'll show you some more features on our Scout 2.
Okay.
Now, why don't you come around here to the front for a second?
Okay.
First, notice how the hood opens. From the back. There's no chance for the hood to fly open and block your vision when driving down the road. You might also consider that an anti-theft feature as well.
That's true, I do.
And by the way, all our Scouts are available with a 4-cylinder engine as standard equipment, or with a choice of 2 V8s, or with our new 6-cylinder diesel engine that offers excellent fuel economy.
Well, I never really considered a diesel before. Does sound interesting, but tell me, does the 4-cylinder have a cast aluminum block?
No, it's cast iron. It's heavier than a cast aluminum block, but it's more durable. Long life dependability is important to you, isn't it?
Well, I'll agree to that.
This happens to be our 304 V8. If you're planning on towing a boat or trailer, we also have a 345 V8, which would be an excellent choice. Now come around to the front and I'll show you some other features.
Okay.
One thing that all of our Scouts share is a good overall width. Wide enough so that 3 adults can sit next to each other in comfort, yet small enough to cut down on wind interference and to get through tight places. So you have stability, comfort, and mobility. Is that important to you?
Well, now that you've pointed it out, I'd have to say yes. It is important.
Now, if you'd just come down here for a minute, I'll show you some additional features of this Scout 2. All the Scouts, Terra, Traveler, and Scout 2, have good ground clearance. Except for the front and rear differential, everything on a Scout is above the side frame rails. If you're driving down a backwoods trail, really deep ruts, the more ground clearance you have, the better.
Well, the Blazer looks like it's got pretty good ground clearance too, you know.
Sure, the body is high, but the drivetrain is still down here, near the ground. By the way, all 3 Scouts feature a solid steel welded body construction. Combined with front and rear leaf springs, a dip tank applied primer, and factory applied undercoating.
Standard?
Standard. And all these features add up to maximum durability and performance on or off the road. Scouts are built to last, it's that simple. You are looking for a dependable sports utility vehicle, aren't you?
Well, of course I am. I don't want something that's going to fall apart in a year's time.
Well, then you've come to the right place. Now come around here to the passenger door, and I'll show you some additional Scout features.
Geez, all I wanted to know is how much it costs.
Hey, hold it. Don't you want to see what you're paying for?
Well, yeah, I guess so. But do you do this with all your customers?
I try to. You see, I believe that anybody could tell you how much it costs. But I look at my job as being more than that. I feel obligated to justify that cost to you. So I follow what we call a 5-step presentation, a complete vehicle walk-around. That way I'm sure to cover all the features, advantages, and benefits that make our Scouts the best buy in the sports utility market for you. For example, get into the back seat for a minute.
Okay.
Comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. Now put your feet up on that ledge that's right under the seat. Now how does it feel?
Well, it's not as comfortable.
Well, that's how you would sit in a Blazer. The back seat area has a ledge that extends out from the seat, so you'd end up sitting like that. You can also get sliding side windows as an option on the Scout 2. Do you think you'd be interested in sliding side windows on your Scout 2?
Yeah, I think the kids would like them.
By the way, all Scout 2s have a removable steel top, so you can use it to transport tall objects or replace it with a canvas top for safari-type camping trips. The Scout 2 also has an optional fold-down rear seat for those times when you need extra cargo space. On the Blazer, you'd have to unbolt the rear seat, take it out, and store it in your garage every time you wanted more cargo space. Which would you prefer, folding the seat down or lugging it out of the vehicle completely?
Naturally, I'd choose folding it down instead. It'd save me a lot of time and backaches.
Now come around to the back, and I'll show you a couple more Scout 2 features.
Okay.
First, why don't you open the trunk?
All right.
Just pull the top section up. It'll lock in place. And then push in on the button and lower the bottom section. Pretty easy, wasn't it?
No problem at all.
With the back seat up and the spare tire tucked out of your way, the Scout 2 has 58 cubic feet of cargo space. With the back seat folded down, there's 84 cubic feet of storage space.
How deep is it with the back seat folded down?
5 feet deep. That's with the tailgate up. By the way, with the back seat folded down on the Traveler, the cargo space is 6 feet long. Now let's check the price sticker to see if there are any options you might be interested in. For example, this Scout 2 is equipped with an adjustable luggage rack on top. You mentioned before that you're interested in taking your family on camping trips?
Yep.
Well, then this might be a good option to have. And as I pointed out to you before, this Scout 2 is also equipped with selective 4-wheel drive, Locomatic hubs, power steering, an automatic transmission, AM/FM radio, bucket seats, a center console, air conditioning, sliding side windows, and a fold-down rear seat. Would you like your Scout 2 equipped with these custom features?
I sure would like to have them, but I'd first like to test drive a Scout 2, if you don't mind.
Fine. Let's go outside. We've got a demonstrator all ready for you. And you know, I bet we have a Scout for you out on the lot. So you could be out camping this weekend with your family. And we've got them in 9 exterior colors. There's our demonstrator, all gassed up and ready to go. Hey, you know, this is the first time I've ever had a sales manager play a customer for me. How am I doing, boss?
You're doing fine, Bill, just fine. You qualified me, gave me the 5-step product presentation, arranged for a demonstration. By the way, this demo is clean inside and out, isn't it?
Sure, I checked it out this morning. It's clean, and the tank is full, too.
I also like the fact that you're selling what we've got on the lot. About the only thing you could work on is qualifying your customers. You finally qualified me through the process of elimination rather than asking me questions right away. And you never did ask what my name was.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, Bill, people like to hear their name being used. So come out and ask right off the bat what their name is. They'll tell you. Then remember when I said that my neighbor owned a Datsun pickup?
Yeah?
Well, you should have asked for the neighbor's name. You know, saying something like, maybe I know him. Then later on, you could have called on the neighbor. That's one of the best ways to develop sales leads.
Mm-hmm.
The one point I like about your 5-step product presentation is that you had me involved all the time, pulling on this, opening that. Let's quickly go through those 5 steps once more. First, we started off in the driver's seat. Went around to the front of the vehicle where you covered the engines and construction features. Then we went to the passenger door where we climbed into the back seat. Then around to the back where you covered the cargo space. And ended at the price sticker where you covered the options. Just remember to be flexible in your presentation. If the customer's looking inside the cargo area, don't pull him around to the driver's seat just because that's step one. Start your presentation where the customer is looking, and then continue around the vehicle, regardless if you're presenting the Scout 2, the Terra, or the Traveler. And be sure to keep this reference guide handy. It came with a SuperCom program and gives you step-by-step competitive comparisons for each Scout vehicle.
Thanks for the reference guide, boss. Think I'll use it on that customer out there. He's looking at the Traveler.
Good luck, Bill. Just remember the 5-point product demonstration. Now get out there and ask for the order.
Hi, my name's Bill Peterson, and this is our new Scout Traveler. And your name, sir?